2,000 land records in the Investment Dominator. How do you select? Let's say 500 of those letters to send. She's probably using ITI, which is letterprinting.net, or she could be using REI printing, both of which will do the same thing. We'll get your letters out. So basically, some of you have brought into the Investment Dominator maybe several thousand records, and you're handling them, and now you may have 2,000 or 3,000 records in prospect status in your Investment Dominator, but you only want to send out 250 a week or 500. So I'm just going to give you one way to handle that from within the Investment Dominator, because remember, our suggestion is that you only bring into the Investment Dominator the records you're going to process at one time. But for whatever reason, some of you have brought in several thousand, and it's okay. You have to manage them now within Investment Dominator. So this is just one way to handle this issue. If you come up with a better way, hey, that's wonderful. So let's just say I've got these records here. As you can see, the record count is only coming up to 392. But let's just pretend, this is 1,000 records here. I'm going to select. I only want to send out 500 at a time. So what I might do to handle that, I might come in here and I might select all of my records that are in prospect status. Okay. So I'll come here and I go status, equal prospect. I'm going to search and I'm going to get all of those records. All right. Then I'm going to do a select all. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to change my status. And this is just an idea, folks. Okay. I'm going to change my status. I'm going to put those on hold. So now I'm going to confirm my moves. Now it says I have at least 70 records on hold, right? Say okay. And when I clear my search, so if I look at all my records if I look at all my records that are on hold, all right, I've moved all of those records on hold. So now the next thing I'm going to do is, since I only want to process 500 of them, and let's pretend there's 1,000 here. Let's say if I only want to do 500 of them, I'm going to select by my property ID range, maybe the first 1 to, I'm not going to say 500, I'll just say 250 here. Okay, based on property ID range. I'm going to select all of those. Well, let's see, I better do an advanced search here. So, where my status is equal to on hold and, okay, let's see. Actually, I want property ID is less than or equal to, let's say, 250. Okay, so I'm going to create this search and I'm going to save this as prospect search 01. Okay, So I do my search here. Okay, so it's going to give me back my records that I put on hold and that are within my range, up to 250. So now I want to select all that's in that particular search. I'm going to change the status here, and I'm going to change these 39 records back to prospect status, right? So now I've put my records that I want to process back in prospect status. The other records that I do not want to process are still on hold. So this is how you select your 250 records that you actually want to process. I'm going to come up here now under campaigns, and when I produce this CSV file that I'm going to send to letterprinting.net, or I'm going to send to, you see, it only has the records. In this case, we're pretending it to be like 500, or in this case 250 records, but it's only going to produce the records that you have in prospect status. So that's the good news about that. So you've got that record, that's all you're sending, and you're going to send your neutral letter template and your envelope template to letterprinting.net. Now, so once you've done that, once you've sent those records off, the CSV file and your templates, you come in, make sure you don't forget to do your bulk update records, right? Do my bulk update records, because I want to move all of those prospect records that I just processed. There's 39 of them. I want to move them to mailed letter 1. Move them to mailed letter 1 so they're now out of the way. So you can go back now that you move them to prospect status. These would now be changed. These prospects up to 250 would be changed to mailed letter 1. So what do you have left? You have the other ones that are on hold, right? That you changed to on hold. The next week when you come in, you're already ready to take the rest of these on holds, right? And process them, so you're going to select all, come in here, change the status again. There's 31 left. You want to change them to prospect status, confirm that move. All right, so now all of your prospects, now you've got the rest of your ones that are in prospect status. The first 250 or the first 500, remember, have been moved to mail letter 1 status. So now you just come in and do the same thing, hit campaigns, you come in, you create your CSV, and you go out. So that's how you can process those records. Kind of a long answer for how you can take several thousand records and you have to manage them now within Investment Dominator.